I always gave freedom to my daughter Sana. She was stubborn since childhood, but in her stubbornness I always saw confidence, no fear. When she fell in love with Faison in college and talked about marriage, I trusted her blindly. I just said, if you're happy, I'm happy too. Sana's marriage took place in a simple ceremony. Faison seemed like a decent guy, and the sparkle in Sana's eyes erased all my fears. It was only when I went to my son-in-law's house for the first time after marriage that I realized that everything was not as I had thought. A woman sitting on the divan said without looking at me, "Girls these days become so vulgar only because their mothers spoil them." She was Faison's mother, i.e. my daughter's mother-in-law. I smiled politely and said hello, but he didn't even look up. Just said softly, "What should I say if someone becomes a guest without inviting me?" My heart skipped a beat. But for the sake of my daughter's happiness, I endured everything silently. Thought, relations would improve with time. But time has hardened my expectations even further. Every time I went to meet her, Sana's mother-in-law would taunt me. Sometimes she would say, "Your mother must not have taught you to work," and sometimes, "It does not suit a girl to be so close to her parents after marriage." Sana always avoided the conversation with a smile, but only I could see the uneasiness in her eyes. One day I asked him, "Is everything okay, son?" He hugged me and just said, "Mom, don't come for a few days. It becomes difficult for you, and I also have to listen to a lot." That day, for the first time, I felt that I was being taken away from my own daughter. I didn't know whether I was going for her welfare or holding back out of fear of my mother-in-law. A few months passed. Sana was about to become a mother. I was very happy. I had thought that I would stay with him and take care of him. But when I called, Faison replied, "Mom doesn't want any guests to come to the house right now. The doctor has advised rest, and Mom is worried that Sana might get too emotional because of your words." I was stunned. I did not want to be sentimental, I wanted to be a support for Sana. That day I decided, whatever happens now, I will not tolerate this relationship, but will understand it. One day I suddenly reached his house. The door opened, and in front was the same face, which had become my daughter's biggest wall of smiles. "Are you back again?" he said with a cold laugh. "Yes," I replied coolly, "because my daughter wants me to." She took me inside, but kept saying something or the other all the way. "You kept Sana in your control, that's why she has not been able to integrate into her in-laws' house till date." I quietly looked at Sana, who was sitting in the room drinking milk. There were dark circles under his eyes. But the little smile she gave me after seeing me gave me all the strength again. I spent the next 3 days there. Cooked food, took care of Sana, and whenever her mother-in-law taunted me, I replied with a smile. Perhaps she had started seeing something new in my tolerance. On the 4th day, he kept a cup of tea for me for the first time. "Take less sugar, you are getting old," he said without looking, but it was a sign, perhaps of change. One night, when everyone was asleep, I went to the terrace and sat for a while in the moonlight. Just then the sound of stairs was heard. She was his mother-in-law. "Do you want to say something to me?" I asked. She remained silent for some time. Then she said, "I have brought up my son in a strict home. My own mother-in-law never treated me like a mother, and I had decided that I would also keep my distance as a mother-in-law." I said softly, "But Sana could have also become your daughter." She became silent. And then something happened that changed everything. It was the morning of Diwali. There was light in the houses, hopes in the hearts, and a small wish in my mind, that maybe this time I too would be treated like family at my son-in-law's house. I had made sweets for Sana and Faison with my own hands, along with a silk sari, which Sana always liked. I got ready early in the morning and reached his house with the gifts. Opened the door, and in front was the same face, the same stern eyes. "So early in the morning?" he said, as if I have come as a burden. "It's Diwali," I said smiling. "I thought the house should be decorated soon, and Sana should also get help." He opened the door without answering. I entered inside. There were curtains on the walls of the room, but there was no warmth in the atmosphere. Sana was in the kitchen. She smiled lightly when she saw me, but that smile seemed to tremble. "Mom, you sit, I will bring tea," she said. "No son, today I have come to help you." Meanwhile, Faison's mother, i.e. my enemy mother-in-law, came inside. "Help?" he sneered. "We all know how much help you have brought up your daughter. She is so spoiled that now she has to be taught how to respect her mother-in-law." I was stunned for a moment. Faison standing nearby did not say anything. Just stood there staring at the mobile screen. "Look," I said calmly, "every mother brings up in her own way." She laughed out loud, a laugh that was filled with disgust, insult. "How does a pretentious mother like you know how to run a family? You only know how to praise your daughter. It is because of you that this girl is not able to fit in at home." His voice now became so loud that the rest of the family, Faison's brother, sister-in-law, and neighboring relatives, all started hearing it. "Who have you come all dressed up to show?" She pointed towards me. "Don't pretend to be a mother anymore, she is our daughter-in-law now, not just your daughter." I saw, there was curiosity in everyone's eyes, no sympathy. And then my eyes fell on Sanaa. She stood, but did not say anything. She was not looking at me. I understood, today I am alone. I took a deep breath, kept the sari and the bag of sweets there on the table, and went out without saying anything. Tears welled up in my eyes as soon as I crossed the gate. I didn't get angry, just one question was piercing: can mother's respect be so small? That night I made a promise to myself. Now I will never set foot in this house again. I switched off the mobile, and engrossed myself in work. Sanaa's calls kept coming for several days, but I did not pick up. When the daughter herself closes her eyes, even the mother's tears seem useless. 3 months passed. One evening Sanaa came home tired and disheveled. "Mom, please forgive me." I kept quiet. Crying, she said, "I couldn't say anything that day because I was afraid all this might escalate before my child arrives." I placed my hand on her back. "But I can't take it anymore." I saw that there was less fear in his eyes and more confidence. "I want to come with you, for a few days," she said. I said, "You can come here every time, son. This door will never be locked." We spent a few weeks together. I took care of her, made small clothes for her son, and every night I caressed his forehead, praying only that he should no longer be afraid of anyone. But mother-in-law is mother-in-law. One day he himself called. "Where is Sanaa?" I replied simply. "You provoked him, didn't you?" I said calmly, "No, I just gave her the courage to express her feelings." The phone got disconnected. But I knew, the story wasn't over. A new turn was about to come. It seemed as if life was becoming calm. Sanaa had become a mother. Seeing a small child in her lap filled my heart as if I was seeing my childhood in her lap. Our relations were reconnected. Sanaa would come often, sometimes cook something, sometimes leave the children with me. With the sound of those small steps, my lonely house started smiling again. But perhaps life is not that easy. One day I suddenly felt dizzy. It felt as if the ground had slipped. I tried to save myself, but when I woke up, I was in the hospital. There was seriousness in the doctor's eyes. "We will have to do a biopsy. The reports are not good," he said. I nodded. Was alone. Neither Sanaa nor anyone else was with me. Tried to tell Sanaa, but she was in her 7th month, couldn't put her under stress. Son Javed, he was in America. And that too engrossed in his own world. One day the doctor handed over the report. "You have stage 3 breast cancer. We need to start treatment immediately." I was shaken to the core. Treatment? Money? There was some pension money, but it was very little. I couldn't sleep that night. Staring at the ceiling of the hospital, I kept thinking only this: was my life only here? The nurse came the next morning. "There's a visit for you," she said. I was shocked. "Any?" Slowly the door opened, and my breath stopped when I saw who came in. Faison's mother. The same woman who once called me a pretend mother. She came, her face was serious, but her eyes were full. I got your report from my son's friend. He came to know that you were alone. I couldn't believe it, but when it came, everything was true. I didn't say anything. Come on, now is not the time to argue. You have to be shifted to the hospital, to a good hospital. It won't do here. But, money? Don't worry about that. I'll take care of it. Before I could say anything, he picked up the bag. Once you saved my daughter-in-law, now it's my turn. The next day I was in the best cancer center in the city. A private room. Nurses attentive, doctors experienced. Treatment started. The first session of chemotherapy was painful. Hair started falling, vomiting, weakness. It was not easy to bear everything. But every time I closed my eyes, someone would place a wet cloth on my forehead. Someone would feed the soup slowly. Someone would sit without speaking. She was Faison's mother. Now she did not call me Mrs. Khan. Now she started calling me Farzana. Farzana, your tea. Drink some. I cried one day. Why did you do that? I thought you hated me. He said slowly. Hate? Maybe you did. Because you gave Sana freedom, and I only gave my children fear. I always thought you spoiled her. But actually, you taught her how to live. I was speechless. When I saw Sana break down, and then saw her find strength with you, then I understood that relationships are not made just by name, they are made by understanding and love. She paused, then smiled. And now, when you need me, maybe I can be human too. The treatment continued. She would come every day, entertain me, give updates to Sana over the phone, without any authority, just out of the dignity of the relationship. Gradually my condition started improving. Hair had fallen out, but confidence was returning. The doctor said, if everything goes well, you can go home in 2 months. I closed my eyes and thanked him. One evening, when we were sitting in the hospital garden, he looked at me. Can I say something, Farzana? Yes, I said. We've both been through a lot. But now, if you want, we can rebuild our relationship, as friends instead of enemies. I smiled. You have saved my life. Now you are not just my daughter's mother-in-law, my sister. We both smiled, and that same evening, I video called Sana from my phone for the first time. Mom. How are you? I'm fine. And your mother-in-law is my best friend now. Sana cried. I said. When relationships connect the heart, life changes. It was around 1 o'clock in the night. There was silence in the long streets of the hospital. A soft blue light was shining outside the ICU, and I, exhausted from the treatment, was not sitting on the ICU bed, but on the chair next to it. Sitting next to me was, she, that is, my daughter's mother-in-law. Now maybe she seemed like someone else too. She was holding a thermos in her hand, my favorite herbal tea, which she now brought daily. He handed over the cup, and took one himself. We both kept drinking tea silently. Some time passed like this. Then suddenly he said, Farzana, today I have something to say, which I have never told anyone. I looked at him. There was something deep in his eyes, an old wound that was now ready to open. You always misunderstood me, always judged you. But the truth is, maybe I was angry with myself, and saw my reflection in you. I didn't say anything. Just kept listening. Perhaps today was his turn to open up. You may not believe it, but there was a time when I too fell in love. I was shocked, but remained silent. He was older than me, was a Hindu, and very educated. We studied together in college. He understood everything I said. His voice started trembling. I told at home, then it was as if doom had come. Father said, if I meet him, I will kill him. Mother kept crying, brother threatened. And then, one day, when I went to meet him, while returning, brother dragged me home. He closed his eyes. That day my hair was cut. My phone was taken away. I was locked in a room for 2 months. And then, I was married to Faison's father. I put down my tea. My lips started trembling. The woman sitting in front, whom I always considered harsh, was sitting in front of me today like a broken girl. My husband was good, but something inside me had died. The love I lost could never be compensated. Then he looked at me. And then when I saw your daughter, Sanaa, doing what she wanted, fighting for her love, then something pricked inside. She stopped. Then she said softly, "I never hated you, Farzana. I was just jealous of that girl who was free with a mother like you. And I had just become someone's daughter-in-law, someone's wife." My eyes filled with tears. She remained silent for a moment, then said softly, "When you were in the hospital, and the doctor said you were alone, I thought, this is my test. If I don't help today, I might lose confidence in myself." I held his hand. She was no longer the woman who had once called me a pretend mother, she was now a sister who had opened up to me about the deepest things in her life. We both sat like this for a few minutes. "Did you ever talk to him again?" I asked. Shook her head. "No. A letter came, a few years after the marriage. He wrote that he has now moved from India to America, and hopes I am happy." "Were you happy?" I asked. She smiled, a tired, sad smile. "Now I think, maybe there is more happiness in the cup of tea that we both share today, than in the love that was never found." I looked into his eyes. She was glowing, with truth, with humanity. In that silence of the night, two women who were once enemies had now become true friends of life. He looked at me. "Farzana. If I could go back in time, maybe I would give my daughter freedom like you. And myself too." I pressed his hand. "You have given me a new life. Now let's forgive each other." He nodded slowly. The ICU lights had now dimmed. The nurse's footsteps were echoing somewhere far away. And both of us? Now for the first time. There was not a mother-in-law and a mother, but two incomplete stories, which were being completed in each other. The treatment was now slowly being completed. The exhausting rounds of chemotherapy, the hospital beds, the nights when even sleep was interrupted by fear, all were beginning to be left behind. But if there was something that was still there, it was her support, my daughter's mother-in-law, who had now perhaps become my biggest strength. The cost of treatment was increasing gradually. When the doctor said there was one last surgery left, I thought, no more. I had almost exhausted my savings. The daughter was pregnant at that time and was abroad. I didn't even tell my son, he was busy with his life. I silently thought of postponing the surgery. But the next morning, the doctor came and said, "All your payments have already been made." I was surprised. "Who?" The doctor smiled. "By a relative of yours." It didn't take long for me to understand, the same woman, who was now silently doing everything for me. The same person who once humiliated me was now risking everything to save my life. When I was recovering after the surgery, he caressed my head and said, "You are not my mother-in-law, but still I don't know why I have started loving you like a mother." I saw him. My eyes were filled with tears. "Why did you do all this?" She smiled. Sometimes a person understands late where to apologize, and where to restart the relationship. When my daughter Sanaa came to know about all this, she hugged me crying. "Mom, you never told me." I just said, "Son, when relationships are on the verge of breaking, it is not necessary to tell everything, some things get attached with time, some people too." That woman now used to sit with me every day. We both oiled our hair, listened to old songs, sometimes did sewing, sometimes just drank tea while looking out the window. And every time, she would say, "I wish we could have understood this relationship earlier." I would laugh. "Leave it to be understood, you didn't even like to see me." She would also laugh, that laughter in which there was no longer any sarcasm. One day, he put an envelope in my hand. "What is this?" "Read it." That was my medical report, the last test report, clean. No disease, no danger. I was fine. I looked at him. This wouldn't have been possible without you. He just said. Relationships sometimes take a lifetime to understand, but once you do, your whole life changes. From that day onwards, we both drink tea together every day. Sometimes they laugh, sometimes they remember old grievances. She says. When your daughter did what she wanted, you supported her. I wished that my mother-in-law had also supported me sometime. But today when I support you, it feels as if I am correcting the mistake of my past. Now when the women in the neighborhood ask, "Is this your sister-in-law or sister?" So we both look at each other and laugh. She is my daughter's mother-in-law, but now my best friend. Lakhs were spent on my treatment. He did everything, without telling, without expressing. Didn't show any favors, didn't show off anything. Like she's fulfilling her responsibility, like she really cares about me now. Perhaps this is the true relationship, unconditional, without selfishness, just a human relationship. When I look at myself in the mirror today, I don't see a weak and sick woman, I see a woman who is alive again, can smile again, and can trust again, because of a woman she once considered her worst enemy. Now we do puja together, wear new clothes, and cook food together on festivals. She says. No more misunderstandings, just together now. And I just think this. I wish this relationship had been understood earlier, but perhaps that's the beauty of this relationship, that it took time, but it lasted forever.